So you see these massive fashion brands everywhere. But have you ever stopped to think about how they got so big? Today we're going to break down the different playbooks these brands use to build their global empires.
Yeah, names like Calvin Klein, Zara, Tommy Hilfiger, Lacoste, you know these logos. You've definitely seen them, probably even worn them. They're basically woven into our cultural wallpaper, defining everything from high fashion to your everyday look. But behind every single one of those logos is a unique story of strategy and ambition.
And that's the big question, isn't it? How did they actually do it? Well, it turns out there's no single magic formula. In this explainer, we're going to unpack 3 totally different blueprints these brands followed to conquer the fashion world.
First, we'll dive into the brands that basically defined a nation's style, with the all-American blueprint. Then we'll switch gears and look at the disruptors who completely rewrote the rules, with their need for speed. And finally, we'll check out the icons of global style, who built their empires on aspiration and pure luxury. Okay, first up, the brands that didn't just sell clothes. They were selling a vision of America. These companies tapped right into the cultural identity of the United States and then exported that vision to the entire world.
Think about it. On one hand, you've got the preppy, clean-cut vibe of Tommy Hilfiger, and on the other, the laid-back, student style of American Eagle. They created this powerful, instantly recognizable look. They sold a story about what it meant to be young, cool, and American. Let's dig into how they pulled it off.
Talk about a meteoric rise. Calvin Klein starts in 1968 with just 10 grand. 1 year later, boom, they're in vogue. By the 70s, they're pulling in $1 million in revenue. But the 80s, that's when things just went into overdrive. Those provocative ads for designer jeans and logo underwear created a cultural sensation, turning the company into an absolute powerhouse and sending it to what the source calls dizzying heights. And then you have Tommy Hilfiger, who absolutely pioneered a very specific identity. That classic and cool American style. You know the look, chinos, button-downs, and that unmistakable red, white, and blue logo. He didn't just design clothes, he crafted a uniform for a whole subculture that eventually went global. Now this is a wild story of brand evolution. You think of Abercrombie and Fitch as a teen fashion hub, right? Well, get this, it was founded way back in 1892 as an elite sporting goods store for clients like Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and JFK. Decades later, it completely reinvented itself with those ads featuring future stars like Jennifer Lawrence and Channing Tatum. And yep, that moose head is a little nod to its rugged, outdoorsy past.
You know, the key takeaway here is just one word: focus. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, American Eagle zeroed in on one specific market: students. By perfecting their polos, jeans, and casual wear for that demographic, they became an absolute staple in high schools and on college campuses everywhere.
Okay, time for our second blueprint, and this is a completely different model. These are the brands that didn't just follow trends, they created them at lightning speed. This is the fast fashion revolution. Just let that number sink in for a second. 450 million. That's roughly how many items the retailer Zara produces every single year. This isn't just fashion, it's a high-speed, high-volume logistics machine. So how on earth do they manage it? Well, here's their secret. While traditional fashion houses are planning seasons in advance, Zara can take a design from a concept to the shop floor in just a couple of weeks. They design a mind-boggling 12,000 new styles a year, keep almost half their production in Spain for speed, and ship to thousands of stores globally. It's a constant, never-ending cycle of newness.
Forever 21 followed a really similar path of just rapid expansion. Starting as a single, tiny 900-square-foot shop in LA back in 1984, it just bloomed into a retail giant with over 500 stores in the US alone. Its success was built on that exact same principle, delivering trendy, affordable fashion at a relentless pace.
And that brings us to our final blueprint: the global icons. These brands built their empires not on speed or on national identity, but on a promise of luxury, quality, and international appeal. They are, by their very design, aspirational.
This is a great side-by-side. On one hand, you have Michael Kors, the American designer who built a luxury empire on accessories. Think bags and watches. On the other, you have the Italian powerhouse Dolce & Gabbana, famous for everything from formal wear to cosmetics, and for dressing superstars like Beyoncé and Madonna. Both achieved global reach, but with their own distinct flavors of luxury.
We kind of take designer jeans for granted now, but Guess was a true trailblazer. The source notes they were one of the first to make designer denim a must-have item back in the 80s. By elevating a simple pair of jeans into a high-fashion statement, Guess carved out its own iconic space in the global market.
And you know, sometimes an empire is born from a single great story. Lacoste was founded by French tennis star René Lacoste. That famous crocodile logo wasn't some marketing invention. It was reportedly inspired by his own nickname on the court. That authentic link to sporting elegance gave the brand a unique and enduring appeal that's lasted for decades.
So there you have it. 3 very different roads to building a fashion empire. You can build it on a powerful idea of national identity, like the American classics. You can build it on pure speed and accessibility, like the fast fashion disruptors. Or you can build it on a foundation of luxury and global aspiration.
But this brings us to one last, really crucial question. In a world of fleeting trends, changing consumer values, and new technology, which of these blueprints is truly built to last? The classic, the disruptor, or the icon? That's something to think about next time you see one of these logos. Thanks for watching.